So as most of you guys know, on Friday, the Packers decided to release Kurt Benkert, which I think was a move that surprised many people. I, for one, did not see it coming whatsoever. And recently, Kurt Benkert did have some things to say about that. So I want to go through some different quotes from Kurt Benkert after being released, his thoughts on sort of why it happened and what he thinks about the decision made by the Packers to release Kurt Benkert. So this comes from PackersWire.com. They have lots of great articles out there. Go check them out. But they found this information. I believe most of this was said by Kurt Benkert on his Twitch stream. And so here we go. Let's get into it right now. So the article says this: Kurt Benkert said he was surprised about being released by the Green Bay Packers, but the veteran quarterback expressed respect for general manager Brian Gutekunst and the process behind the decision. The way he did it and went about it, mad respect for him and for the window he cut me in. To give me an opportunity to go somewhere and compete for another job to make the 53, knowing there was no chance to make the 53 here, respect the blank out of that, Benkert said during a Twitch stream on Sunday. So Kurt Benkert is grateful that Brian Gutekunst was willing to cut him this early because, as we saw last year, the Packers only kept two quarterbacks. They only kept Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love, and Kurt Benkert was released and then placed in the Packers practice squad where he spent a majority of 2021. So as Kurt Benkert said, because Brian Gutekunst released him this early in June 20th, before training camp starts, now Kurt Benkert does have a chance to potentially be picked up by a different team so that he could potentially go in and start at training camp somewhere else on a different roster. So he has more of a chance to make another team at this point. He also says this: I know the end of the preseason, what it was going to look like. Thankful they did me a solid and didn't waste any time, Benkert said. I knew at the end of the preseason I was going to get cut. There's no room for me on that roster for an extra quarterback on the 53. He then says he could have kept me around for 5 weeks and then cut me as soon as I showed up for training camp, or kept me around for preseason, given me a quarter a game if that, and then cut me, Benkert said. I'm just excited to see what's next. Benkert said he is going back to Florida. He'll go on waivers and should know by Monday afternoon, which is today, if he's claimed by another team. So I'm curious to see if another team does decide to come in and pick up Kurt Benkert. With the Packers already having Jordan Love on the roster, it's likely they're not going to keep three on the roster, even though right now there are currently three quarterbacks, with Danny Etling being the third quarterback on the current Packers roster. You know, with the Packers spending a first-round pick on Jordan Love, there's no question the Packers are going to, I think, hold on to him for the time being. With the uncertainty of Aaron Rodgers, we don't exactly know how long Rodgers is going to play. I don't think Rodgers knows at this point. He's sort of taking it year by year. And in all likelihood, he could decide to retire after one season, maybe two. And I think with the Packers using that pick on Jordan Love, with all the time Jordan Love has had here to grow, to learn, the Packers, I don't think, are not going to give up on him. And so Kurt Benkert has an opportunity to go somewhere else, to potentially join another team that may need a backup. He has a chance to go in and do that if another team wants to come in and sign Kurt Benkert. We'll see if that happens soon. And we saw last preseason, watching that last preseason, Kurt Benkert did play pretty well in the time that he was playing. Let me find his stats here for last preseason, because I remember watching last year, and he looked pretty good. There were moments where you're like, man, maybe this guy could be something one day eventually. So if we take a look right here at his stats from last preseason, he played in 3 different games. He went 8 for 12 in the first game, 88 yards, 0 TDs, 1 pick. Not amazing there. Then versus the Jets, the second week, 18 for 25, 151 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. A pretty solid game there with an 83.9 passer rating. Then the final game, he went 7 for 11 with 61 yards. So we'll see if he gets picked up by another team. I hope he does, because I think he's a very solid person overall. Just following him on social media, seeing how he carries himself and the way he carried himself in Green Bay. I wish him nothing but the best. But I want to come in here, give you guys that quick little update on what he had to say. If you guys want to see more Packers content, feel free to subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys next time.